All right, well, I will intro. Hi, welcome to podcast hosted by Josh, Reid, Brynn, and myself. And then there's Gaben in the back and our camerawoman, Eva. You just can't see them, but you'll probably hear Gaben's loud mouth. Woo! We don't have a set topic, but there's a lot to talk about.
Big Christmas break.
Big Christmas break. There was a lot that happened.
A lot.
We also tried to host an episode, but I messed up badly.
I am going to set an alarm so I leave at the right time.
bad.
I'm going to have to leave.
Brenda's going to have to leave.
Why do you have to leave, Brynn?
I have children's mentoring at Wilson Vance
Well, isn't
Oh,
that
it's
at
fun.
3:30.
Such a good image for our brand here.
I'm...
Probably
Okay,
not.
I'll do a little switch, I guess. Okay, so much happened in the last week.
In the
last 2 weeks.
It's crazy.
We had we ended school on the Trojan takedown. We did a little episode that never saw the light of day.
Yep.
And then
It was my fault.
we went on break. What'd you do at your break, Tony?
My break, it was a lot of just sitting at home because we never get to do that. Like the past few months, I've just never been home. So I took the opportunity to see my family. It was very fun.
Was it?
Oh, true.
Oh my god.
Nice job, Gaben. Had a very nice Christmas. How about you guys?
I had a great Christmas, except I had to spend it without Reedy because he was lost in Mexico.
That's so true.
I found my way back.
I found photos on your mom's Facebook. Really funny. I was
Reid
just scrolling and see with the bird. And you're like,
That's
He's
funny.
playing with monkeys and everything.
it's like
She posted the monkey one?
I don't know. You were with a bird in one of them.
Oh.
They looked photoshopped.
You looked photoshopped.
I don't know what's wrong with that. It was wrong with that last week.
What is it?
You can talk.
Credits to Eva. She
Gaben.
actually said they
Gaben,
looked photoshopped.
what in the world?
Get.
Oh no.
That's kind of nice. I don't have to edit that in now. Brynn, how about you?
I was in big old IA.
What's IA?
Go Hawkeyes.
Iowa.
Oh.
Actually,
Hey,
go
Iowa won.
Cyclones. We don't like
Actually-
Hawkeyes. We like Iowa State.
Sorry, I forgot who they played. I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, Iowa won.
And the typical watched a lot of tennis. It was the Australian
Tennis?
not open. It was just a tournament. Watched a whole lot of bowl games.
I
And
want
then
to watch some tennis.
I ate a lot of
Kentucky had their backup quarterback playing anyway, so wasn't even an impressive win by Iowa. If you really think about it, it wasn't even anything at all. We have a bad offensive line. It's I don't care. It's whatever.
Man,
I think you need to calm down.
I
also-
can't relax because disaster
jersey's
struck. My jersey's ugly.
It's horrible, guys. I gotta tell you this. I've been shook all day. I'm in a state of denial all day because of Josh's outfit that he's shown up with here today. The front is okay.
I have a
It's fine.
stain
It's
on the
really
back,
okay.
so I'm not
Stain
gonna
on the
turn
back?
around.
Turn
What?
around.
Do you
It's-
really?
Turn
It
on
just
for us.
there's black on it. It's
I can't do it.
He's got
World Series champion.
Man, speaking of bowl games, there's a.
They were good.
No,
You don't
no.
get to do the sports update. That's not a thing.
It's a news station. Michigan put up a really good fight against TCU, but
That game was actually so fun.
that was
It
a
such
really
fun
entertaining game to watch.
I didn't
It was
think.
so bad. Michigan's defense was in the bed, and it was really crapping.
Hey,
Am I allowed to
whoa.
cut? I'm sorry.
Fine. I
Cut
can-
that.
My mom watches this.
I can censor it.
Never
Well,
for
that-
a second did I think Michigan was gonna, or TCU was gonna be in that game. I never.
I didn't think so until literally the first quarter. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh.
The best was I saw TCU scored the first touchdown. I scroll on TikTok and immediately all I see is, "Nice job TCU, y'all can have that one. Wait till the rest of the game."
Yeah, right.
The second it happened, I just was scrolling and it popped up.
I was sitting in Tokyo Steakhouse as Michigan mounted their mini comeback, and then it was people getting very uneasy and antsy, and then they blew it
What do we
open
feel
for
like a
Okay,
basketball game?
also-
It was a basketball game scored.
You went to Tokyo Steakhouse.
Yeah, it
before,
was.
huh?
It was a Finley Trojans basketball
Yes.
game scored.
What?
There was also.
Oh my god.
Can we talk about the lack of targeting
Oh
in
yeah.
this football in the last week?
It
What
was-
it? Which game
it
was
was
it? It was at the end
close.
of the Michigan game. The actual just
Hit him straight up
obvious
here.
targeting.
Dude led with his
Hit him
crown.
Huh?
It was close because it was helmet to helmet, but it was like the back of his helmet. But
And
he
I also
led with
think
the
it was
crown
end
of
the
his
game,
helmet.
so
But I
they
mean,
just
also
didn't
at the same
care, 'cause
time,
it
he was
like
also-
that play was like null anyway. Like, 'cause
If like you can see, like the TCU guy had him and was like in the middle of putting him down. So like he
Yeah.
was already like about to like hit the ground, and he was still like defenseless. So it's kind of like I don't know. It was a weird hit.
I hate targeting
I also hate it. but
unless it's for my team.
Oh.
Like if I'm say Kentucky's playing, this actually happened against Florida this year. If someone like if they call targeting like against Kentucky, it's the dumbest thing ever. But if someone hits a Kentucky player, I'm the first to be screaming, "That's targeting! That's targeting! You can't do that!" But
Also,
it's very like what's it called?
Hypocritical?
Well, yes, it's subjective,
That
but
too.
it's not. It's not the same. Like, it's consistent. Thank you. No, yeah, it's not consistent. It makes me mad because like whatever. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Well, like it's not the same every single time. Like if you think about like Ohio State, Clemson in the playoffs a couple years ago when it was close, and Trevor Lawrence ducked down and got hit in like a tackle form, like that's like the same thing that was happening this week, but they don't call it, but they called it for that. It's just it always seems like it happens to swing a game. Like there's never like targeting changes a game completely.
I also feel like they take a moment to like, and the same thing with Michigan. They took a moment to like review it, and then they still call it like they just don't call it again.
Yeah.
Like
I think it could have been called targeting if it was earlier in the game. I really think so.
Probably,
But
yeah.
I just think that they didn't care.
Ohio
But
State
also-
was 15 minutes past due of playing, so they needed to get them on the television.
well, that was also how is not they're not targeting call on Marvin Harrison Jr.
That wasn't targeting. That was
He got
shoulder.
knocked out.
Led with his shoulder.
He was trying to catch a football and then got hit helmet to helmet.
It's a Cam Chancellor hit. It's a Cam Chancellor hit.
I have to
They can't
interrupt
hear
for
you.
a moment.
Ask is
Last
fine.
week or right before break, you all were making fun of me for not being able to set up a mic stand, and here Reid is wrestling with the mic stand, and you guys were like, "Oh, Brynn can't set up a mic
She's like
stand.
a
She's
snake."
stupid," and Reid is struggling more than I was.
When did
When
when did we say that?
Last week, Gaben and Reid
I
were
know how to
like,
clamp
"You
it
can't
on,
even
but-
set up a mic stand." I was
Hey
like,
Tony, Gaben said a bad word, so you're gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah, no. I also said it though.
All right,
Guess we gotta
we're
start
getting
over.
off the topic
Okay.
of college football.
Sure.
It's over. It's done.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
Zamas!
while we're on the topic of football,
It's still football.
We'll get there.
well, very serious moment. DeMar Hamlin.
Would you like me to do my update?
It's not an update.
It's not, yeah.
Like, there's no update to be made. Everyone saw.
everything.
I also
For y'all,
don't like how everyone's
for everybody that
sending it
does not
around
know,
because,
and
like-
I'm shocked if you didn't know, but Bills Bengals game at 8:00 last night.
Most anticipated game of the year.
Yeah, it was a really big game. Like many bets. It was
I was so
crazy.
excited.
Um,
At the game?
so
Wow.
um,
Do they have any
with-
words?
with
The
five
guy-
with 5:58 left on the clock in the first quarter, DeMar Hamlin went to tackle T. Higgins. There was like a little, it was a nice hit. It was a clean hit, and he made the tackle, stood up, and then you can see him like, I don't know, grab himself, but then he fell down to the ground. And T. Higgins was the only person that pointed at him. By the way, if you see the video, everyone just walks
Well,
away.
yeah,
T.
everyone
Higgins
walked
is like,
away, but
yo.
one of the refs was like, just looked down and was like,
It was kind of crazy because everyone, like, after the hit was happened, everyone got up and turned. So like the defense went back and the offense went this way. So the only people was DeMar Hamlin laying on the ground, everyone facing away from him, and then T. Higgins pointed at him.
I was the biggest T. Higgins hater in the world last night too, which is the issue.
I honestly, if DeMar Hamlin, I feel like if DeMar Hamlin passes, T. Higgins retires.
Do you think so?
I mean, I
Just
don't
because
know
of the
if
fact
that's-
that I don't know, like, I mean, me personally, I don't know how I would be able to like live with that
I
again.
mean, I don't know how.
It's crazy. That honestly, that's got to be scary for everyone else on the team. Like
I mean, they
it
were all
wasn't even-
crying.
Yeah,
Right, but like thinking past that, like that wasn't even that hard of a hit.
it was. Yeah,
no,
it
it's
was like,
very unfortunate. This year, Tua and that is very bad for like the future of football. Like because those were two not violent hits that like killed. Like Tua had this. He has 3 concussions now on the year. Was paralyzed on Monday night or Thursday Night Football. DeMar Hamlin might die. I feel like cross
I
your
think he'll
fingers
be
he's
fine.
okay.
He's-
I kind of
he's-
think
he's
he'll
He's
be okay.
yeah. The only thing that they have is he went into cardiac arrest, and that's the only like news update that
Yeah.
they show.
I think I saw some doctor online trying to explain like what happened.
But doctor online.
He got. I
No,
think
it was a medical student. He was like explaining
But-
what he thought happened. It wasn't actually.
Well, okay, I keep saying the thing that they thought happened. It's like, oh, when there's sudden impact to the heart, but it wasn't sudden. It was like he like stood up fully and was like then caught off guard.
When there's like a certain impact at a certain point in your heart's rhythm, like an exact spot, it like paralyzes your heart or something, and like you're, I don't
Your
know.
heart can stop and you can move for another.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't know if it like completely stopped immediately on the dime, but definitely something happened with his heart, and I don't know. That was just scary.
I was up on. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I was
said-
up. It
I
was
said
making
yeah.
me so sad because I was up on ESPN and like you know how they didn't actually have anything prepared, so they were just going and going. They just kept talking. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is not helping
Just
my
the
case at
footage
all.
of the stadium.
I know, and I was like, it was so sad, and how Diggs was trying to get into the hospital because like you know how a lot of them went back to their training facility, and a lot of the guys stayed in Cincy. And Diggs stayed at the hospital and was trying to get into the hospital to go check on him because he's like, oh man, like it's my friend, I want to go see him. And like one of the reporters had witnessed a cop being like, nope, like, and like didn't believe that he was who he said he was. And like the reporter had to vouch for him and be like, this guy's like someone
he's
that
an
you should
all-pro.
know. He's kind of notable.
So I'm not gonna like shout Bill's coach. It was very nice that Zach Taylor went across the field to Sean McDermott to be like, hey, we need to get these players off the field.
Yeah.
Like after he was like on the stretcher, the ambulance went out and they said whoever said that, like the head ref was like, hey, 5 minutes to warm up and then we're playing this game again. That was really dumb.
I also saw a story that said that didn't actually happen.
Well Joe Burrow like started warming up, like he started throwing because like that's what he was told.
He was ready.
He said, I'll talk about it.
I don't know. It's like, but they gave the 5 minutes, and then the 5 minute clock was going. But then Zach Taylor went across the field and was like, "We should not," because everyone was still crying. Like,
I mean, how do you play after
it's
that?
sad.
Exactly,
It's
like-
sad that the coaches and the players had to be like the ones to make the decision, and like no one else had stepped. It was a long time. It was like 45 minutes, wasn't it, of like postponed before it
Yeah.
actually canceled. And it got to the
Yeah.
point when he was in the hospital and everyone was already like, all the guys were in the locker room. It was like at this point, like I'm so shocked that no one stepped in and just.
I don't think it was announced, but I think that they already decided that. People were talking about how, like, after like 10 minutes of them being in the locker rooms, Stephon Diggs was already out in a towel saying goodbye to people, and then
Yeah.
the whole section.
I think they
the
decided
Bills
it.
captains headed over to the Bills locker room,
I don't know if
saying
they can hear him.
it's good, we don't need to play, it's this and that, and it's just a bunch of other things. And it's like, I think for the public eye, it seems like it took a lot longer than it actually did.
I do have a question.
What?
Because when we were sitting on, my family was sitting in our room, like watching it, we were like, okay, well, what happens in like soccer matches? Because this has been happening with other sports.
Soccer
matches,
all
too.
the time, yeah.
And like, do
This
they
has
just
been a dangerous
stop
year.
the game? Or, like, how are
People
had
have
extra time.
died in cardiac arrest. I was in a rabbit hole last night looking it up of like it happens all the time with soccer, and like people have just died on the spot and then they ended the game then. But there were times that guys would just be carried out on a stretcher and then they'd keep playing. But it's like much more regular in soccer, and it's been happening for the last like 25 years especially.
Isn't it a big issue in lacrosse? Like,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I couldn't
That
tell you.
one's-
no, they have to wear like pads right here because like the lacrosse ball is like
Oh, yeah,
so
the-
bad like for the heart.
I'm just curious why like it's crazy this is the first time it happened in football, and I'm curious.
That's kind of
I'm
crazy.
curious. And okay, I'm wondering though, because like how prepared was he for this game though? Because obviously soccer is a type of sport where you're like pushing yourself really bad, and you could be in a position where your like heart is whatever, like in a vulnerable state. And he like wasn't like, because wasn't he replacing Micah Hyde?
Yeah, Micah Hyde was
And
in
Micah
there.
Hyde was
So
out.
That was his first. I think it was first game or second game.
So he was like definitely like, I'm thinking maybe he like overdid something, because he was like not ready for this game. It seemed
Are you
like.
saying like he took something before the game or?
I don't know what I'm saying.
Like
but-
he worked, like he
No, he-
pushed himself
yeah.
too hard during the week. Like,
and he
pushed
could have
himself
had
past
like
his limit.
pre-existing heart issues, and like saying that like I think it's a factor that like he's like a new player, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not like QB getting like just falling, like it's
Yeah.
a safety that's
It's tough to have like your first game against like the most high-powered
Yeah.
passing offense in the NFL, replacing like a Pro Bowl level safety
mhm.
yeah.
and the #1 seed in the AFC.
Love that guy.
I mean,
It was-
still, the thing is that they're still practicing at 100% in practice as a team, and also it's like also could be the beginning of the season. Maybe it's the first time people are out there getting hit anyways. I doubt that it's the issue of it being like his first game, but there could be something to that.
I think it's something to note.
I don't know. This year's been very like weird with, like what Josh said. Like it's been very, very like dangerous and controversial year of the NFL.
Like now, like Tua brain injury and this heart injury, completely separate. But how are the Dolphins gonna let Tua go out there?
I don't.
Like he can't go and play.
And I kind of realized this last night. Like I mean, I never really thought about it, but like NFL players get paid like stupid money because I always thought it was like, oh, like they get pushed into fame, like this and that. But after like last night, like I actually stopped and like thought about it, and like the reason that they're getting paid so much is because they're literally like risking their life, and all of them could like any one of them could pass away.
Yeah.
Like
And they also do give up. I mean, it's like full time, and it's like entertainment, and it's a job, and it's like there's so many different like factors. Like big TV personalities get paid big money, but on top of that, like football is their like full time job, so that's why they get paid so much.
Well, I'm saying but like if you're not like whenever people are like trying to re-sign with somebody, and like I don't feel like happy with that contract, it's probably also because like if they don't feel like comfortable, like safe with that team's organization.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's your whole life. Like when Mookie went to the Dodgers, he just gave up his whole life to move to LA.
LA.
Him and his kid and wife.
I'm sure they love
It worked out.
And then I mean, in good news with
We just learned that they shouldn't.
and
Well, they aren't the homeless people.
in good news though with DeMar Hamlin, his charity foundation went
That
from
was crazy.
Yeah.
It was at
under-
$3 million.
went from under 10K to 3 million.
It was at 2.5K. It was at $3 million last
The
night.
goal was 2.5K.
It was at that though. It was below. The goal was 2.5. But it was at 3 million last night. But after the game, it was at like 100K, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then that night, it was at 3 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That
which
was
is like
crazy.
Great stuff. Let's talk about Donovan Mitchell.
I was
dropping
just
something.
gonna go there, but I didn't want to be the person like
Spider
switch
Mitchell.
it over.
I didn't watch the game. I was watching
Unfortunate timing. That's crazy. Almost a 71-point triple-double. That's crazy.
That was that was
I
nuts.
love the Cavs. The Cavs are my number 2 team this year. I love them.
Who's your number one?
I restarted watching them because
Celtics.
The best team in the league.
I really don't like Celtics. Like
she color plans her outfits to the Celtics.
the Celtics team is
I
so
wear
boring.
green every day actually for the Celtics.
Yeah. She's always ready. No, but yeah, so I was I've been a Cavs fan my whole life. Cried when Kyrie left, cried when LeBron left. And then I stopped watching because
Oh,
the team was just hot garbage.
Yeah.
Then they traded Spider Mitchell. I was like, yes. Because
I do like
Donovan
that
Mitchell's
kid
been
a
my
lot.
favorite player since like it was like
Who was he
it was
with
like
right
two-
before this?
Utah.
The Jazz.
Oh yeah, though. Sorry.
But ever since 2K19, I had him on my team, and I was like, this is my favorite player.
I mean, they nice, I guess. They not the Kings though, so.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've watched a single Kings game this
Yeah.
year.
No one had watched a single Kings game since like 2016 because they had like their first nationally televised game in forever this year, and they put up 155 on the Nets.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, it was 150 something. I don't know if it was.
They should have just not on
I
television.
watched the Kings
Never,
when they had
ever.
Frank Mason.
At the
and then I
beginning,
stopped.
well, that wasn't very long now, was it?
I
Well, they're
know.
like,
That's
poor
why
guy.
I loved that guy.
Could you watch him on like ESPN though?
No.
No, you
It was
gotta,
straight
you
up
gotta
was
get
just-
that
You have to get-
Sacramento local network.
Yeah, you gotta buy it League Pass or you're not watching the Kings. They like every year at the beginning of the season I go through and look at their like national televised. Never, not one. Maybe they'll get an NBA TV game. Maybe they'll get one. But they had TNT this year.
Woo.
Light the beam.
The worst of all nationally televised like basketball.
I disagree. I enjoy my TNT games. I think they're pretty lit.
How are you hating on TNT?
Every game's on TNT,
Shaq?
basically.
Kenny?
He only watches
Chuck?
Fox.
Ernie?
I was going to go to a Cavs Celtics game this year, but it is on an evening where I'm busy, and I'm really sad.
Why don't you just get the tickets and then cancel your plans?
We literally have FFE.
Yeah.
That's
That-
also why I can't go to the Royal Rumble.
That's different. Cavs Celtics, that's an
I'm
excuse
gonna
to
go.
not go.
I don't know.
If it's a
I don't know.
practice, I would just go.
I really like the Cavs this year. I didn't like them in from 2015 through 2018.
Well, because it kind of smacked y'all. LeBron single-handedly
I
smacked y'all in
don't
the,
care.
in
They
the
were just not
playoffs.
a fun team. I just didn't like them.
I don't know. They were pretty fun to watch.
J.R. Smith.
Sure, Thomas
I love
Smith.
JR. I do love that guy.
Where did he get traded to?
J.R. Smith or
I
Isaiah
think
Thomas?
he stopped playing.
J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith like is a college golfer right now.
Are you?
He's actually.
He was like all academic for his conference, and that was like a big thing. LeBron was like, "Shouts out to my brother." Kid
J.R.
from
Smith is
Akron.
not in the NBA.
Shouts out to my brother.
There's
Sorry,
no
I'm
way
looking
he's not in
something
the
up.
NBA anymore.
J.R. Smith is like old.
He wasn't that old.
He was,
He's younger than LeBron.
he was getting up there. Yeah, LeBron
Pelicans.
doesn't count.
I told you.
Really?
Yeah,
You're right. I always forget. I love the Pelicans are such a fun little team.
true.
They're the most likable team in the NBA beside the Celtics.
Well, they're more likable than the Celtics.
no,
but
they're not. They're
No, the
literally
Bucks are
not.
the most likable
If
team.
you have Grant Williams
The
on a
Bucks
team,
are not the
you
most
will the
likable
most
team.
likable team in the league.
that's time.
No, because
Oh.
freaking
I gotta go, guys.
Insectosaurus is on the Bucks, and no one wants to talk about him.
Oh, come on. Leave him alone.
You guys already did my sports update. I'll do a quick update and then
Eva,
My time has expired. I have to go talk
Just
to
flip the-
children.
Bye, Bryn.
I gotta go soon too.
no, just flip the thing, so we can see it if you're standing here.
Hello there.
Reedy has an
I'm
irrational
back.
love for Insectosaurus.
Or this is actually
No,
my
I
first
literally-
time on the podcast. Technically, my name is Gaben
Why don't you
Helm.
explain who Insectosaurus is?
Chris Middleton is Insectosaurus because he
he's
looks
not
like
that
the
ugly.
he looks like the Insectosaurus from Monsters vs. Aliens.
He literally does not, though.
Chris Middleton.
Like, you always make fun of him for looking like that. It's funny. but
How you
he
gonna call?
doesn't.
How you gonna
Chris
call?
Middleton is one of the coolest guys in the league.
Yeah, I'm
number
sure.
one,
Get up.
number one coolest guy in the
Get
league.
up.
I
Deuce
stand by
Tatum.
this as Bobby Portis.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, listen up.
Number
So
one.
if
Fair.
you're gonna call Chris Middleton Insectosaurus when you got
Hi,
Anthony
Bryn.
Day-to-Day Davis in the league,
What?
that dude is the most insect-looking unibrow having guy I've ever seen.
Why are you talking about Anthony Davis?
You can't hate on Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is not that ugly. He just has a unibrow. Have
Exactly.
you seen Chris Middleton? It's bad.
Not
Chris,
really.
Chris
I don't
Middleton.
know basketball.
Chris Middleton and campaign.
She's
Did
looking
you
him up
just-
right
It
now.
gets-
Show
it
the
gets
camera.
Anthony
pretty
Davis
bad.
Davis kills me every single time I hear it.
That poor dude.
Wait.
Because Anthony Davis was on fire before he went down.
Yeah.
He,
And then
okay,
he's
look,
gone.
Which time?
This year, the first. The
Pelicans?
Actually, it was like the fourth time this year.
Pelicans, Anthony Davis will be forever unmatched.
Yep.
Yeah, but you got to show the camera.
This is just a bad picture. Wait, I
I
can't.
know.
You don't need to see it. You just put it up there.
We'll be like watching
Who are
the
you putting-
game, and
This is
any
just a
time
bad picture.
Who are you talking about?
Chris Middleton.
Insectosaurus.
No, he'll like make a three, and then you guys will just start like crack up laughing.
Because he's hideous.
That's true.
Somebody's got to send this to Chris.
Anthony
Middleton.
Davis.
Josh wants to 1v1 him.
No, I'm not trying to 1v1 Chris Middleton. Get the work.
Listen, man. Didn't Giannis, like, the first year he became captain of the All-Star team, like, his first round pick was Chris Middleton?
Yes, because he supports his teammates. Yes.
He was like, first round pick. I'm going to take my brother, Chris Middleton. I was like, all right, sure.
He could have taken either of his brothers.
There's a lot of
Well,
people.
his brothers aren't all-stars, Gaben.
Oh no.
On a contrary, KD couldn't even pick James Harden last year. They were freshly off. I guess he just got traded, but that was really funny too.
Why couldn't he pick him?
He didn't want to.
Oh yeah.
I had to vote.
Didn't want to get stuck with him.
I accidentally auto-drafted my fantasy basketball
is.
team, and I have yet
Where is
to
Harden?
look at it still.
The Sixers.
The
I have Damian Lillard.
With
Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid.
No,
Yeah.
So, actually, reading the trade deal was Ben Simmons and James Harden.
They like switched.
Ben Simmons on the Nets.
They got Simmons off the Sixers.
Yes.
and they got Embiid and Harden. on the
That's why he's
Sixers?
playing
Wow.
so much better.
That's
That's a big,
Tyrese.
big dynamic change there. All of a sudden, you got so much more shooting.
Did y'all see the video of
Yeah.
Trey Young? Is it hit with some old grandma, some old fan, and they were like in the hallway, and he took pictures and signed a jersey for her, and she's like, "You're even more handsome in person."
Trey Young is also ugly.
Yeah,
so
I
that
know.
doesn't make any sense.
You gotta get the
Kid looks
picture of
like
the
a sucker. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
His hair is like, this
awful.
makes me mad.
That is-
I went
that is
to
actually
a
bad.
Hawks Cavs game last year. It was New Year's Eve.
Hawks Cavs game.
Yes. I saw Lemon Pepper Lou Williams in the flesh.
Lemon Pepper Lou Williams.
I used to dance at Cavs games. I got to see.
You
All right.
what?
Yeah, twice.
Was Lou Will coming off the
I
bench?
Did,
Yes,
I,
I'm a-
did, I don't know if they,
Come here.
I did little dances with Becky's school dance. I still remember it. It was so
Becky's
fun.
School
Do
of
the
Dance
dance.
dance for the Cavs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
twice.
demonstrate?
They're doing it this year.
On the table? You want to demonstrate?
Don't need to get on the
No,
table.
I don't remember the stuff. But we did a country number. We got to wear little country outfits. And the other one we did.
There once
It's
was a
Raining Men,
man.
and like other songs too. Material Girl.
Material
fun.
girl.
They're doing it. They're doing it again this
I
year.
wish
I
I not
forget who
known,
they're
dude.
playing, but I'm going.
I was also planning on going to NBA game this year, but I don't know if I'll have
Be
time.
fun. Josh, just you wait till I'm going to school in Cleveland.
All right. Whatever.
Oh, hey, let me do my quick little update. I would just like to state that other than the 2 playoff games, which were very close and probably should have one of them been won by the Buckeyes, the Big Ten is undefeated in bowl games, and the SEC is doing absolute trash, other than Michigan and OSU.
But the Big Ten is such a joke, though.
Whatever. Undefeated in bowl games, trashed USC yesterday. Who is the Heisman? Maybe it should be Sean Clifford.
Tulane beat USC. That's like the
I know.
American conference.
Yeah, but like when you look at like the list of like the Big Ten,
Give me the list.
it's kind of like
Just
I
because
don't
they
know.
get treated unfairly by the picking committee.
Illinois,
I gotta go.
decent. Indiana, decent.
Decent.
Iowa,
Decent.
Bye, Reedy.
Actually,
Maryland?
Iowa sometimes great. Maryland just beat. Who did they beat?
NC State.
Yeah. Something like that. Anyways, it was impressive, and they are bad for the Big Ten standards.
sure.
Well, I mean,
Michigan,
the
good.
ACC. No one's arguing for the ACC right now. They're
Michigan State.
Bowl game's a bowl game. Michigan State had a bad year, but still, like, also a very solid team.
so much sports
They
talk
lost
on
Kenneth-
today's podcast.
I know.
They lost Kenneth Walker and
Yeah, no, it's
downhill. Minnesota,
They recently had a great year.
row the boat.
They got
Nebraska.
a good coach.
Okay, honestly, Nebraska is the best worst team in Big
Yeah,
Ten.
and
They
them and
put so
Wisconsin
much
was
fight
good.
up against everybody.
Yeah, and they always are like competing with people that they should not even be playing with. Northwestern's the smartest team in college football. Like, I don't even care about Harvard.
Ohio State, Penn State, good. Their QB finally won a bowl game, so he's
There
able
you
to
go.
graduate
Hit the
now.
NFL.
He's able to graduate. Purdue, basketball team's good.
Rutgers,
Rutgers?
Purdue, not great. Bowl
Not
game.
great. Not great.
Not good.
Wait, did they lose?
Like 63
I take
to
it back.
9
They
to
did. The Big
LSU.
Ten is not undefeated anymore. Oh yeah, I did see that actually.
SEC team.
That was
LSU's different.
Okay.
and then
LSU's a
Wisconsin.
former national.
Tony, it's 2 guest hosts on the podcast right now.
Should have been your last
This
week.
is
It was
crazy.
and then Wisconsin's got Luke Fickell now. They are going to be good.
One guest person is requesting if we can do something other than sports for a while.
Well, before we do that, okay, fine. Let's talk about Zamas.
Zamas!
What is this?
It was previous to Tony's New Year's Eve
It's
party.
the greatest event in the history
and the
of
best
the world.
idea for a party I've ever heard.
Yes. A pal named Owen came up with the idea
What?
for Zamas. Basically,
It was my idea.
everybody gets a pizza from a different place in town,
yeah.
and brings it together, and we have like a pizza potluck.
Yes, and in
for
this
Christmas.
way, we don't have an issue of Za money.
Christmas Zamas.
Zamas.
Because, as Gaben said, every time
We have-
people want to get Za,
Reedy supplies.
Reedy gets the za and then complains because no one paid him back.
No, you guys always, whenever
For
he
the
says
za.
bring your own
And
za,
it's
then
the
people
Reedy
complain.
defender.
But
Eva,
of
you
course, if
can,
it's for some big event like
Get
that,
hold
there's
up,
no
stop.
Eva, you
No.
can, you
Of
can,
all people.
Eva, you can fix the mic,
just
by the way.
saying.
Get-
You don't have to hold it in
Tony.
that weird. I'm joking.
Understand this. What kind of party doesn't have za?
That's true.
A bad one.
Go get that.
Anyways,
That
I
was
will.
a bit excessive.
My party had za.
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 So
It had so much za because then y'all brought so much.
That would be
Okay.
the negative effects of Zamas is the leftover.
well, because we didn't know Kathy was gonna get 6 pieces of 6 Domino's pizzas.
Yeah, we didn't see that coming.
Okay,
That
we
was-
didn't. We didn't see that coming.
because
I
she knows
got-
a good party
I
has
got
Za.
two
So
of them.
we had some people cancel their za, so it wasn't an official Zamas because Kathy got so much, but it's okay.
It's a good idea still.
Obviously it's gonna be a struggle to get people to pay for their za. All right, that's always something Reedy struggles with. So he comes out.
rich.
We're like, "Are we going to Reedy's house?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a BYOZ event.
Okay.
Bring
no.
your own za."
What? What?
Bring your own za. Bring your own
That's
za.
a travesty.
Okay,
It's
okay,
that's
okay.
a challenge to
Crazy.
humanity in
Here's the
itself.
That's crazy.
The issue is that you always go to his house for stuff. Do you ever do
He
anything?
lives
got
in
the
two-
best place
His
in
house is
Findlay.
$2 million.
Exactly. So
Where else are we
What do you want
supposed
us to
go?
He
do?
doesn't want you to expect for him to provide the pizza.
It's his rent as part of the
We ask
friend
him to
group.
order it. We don't even. Someone's gonna pay him. Owen always pays
You're
his
gonna need
za
to
money.
compress this
I
later.
pay my za money
so
sometimes.
if you pay
I have a
him-
Reedy tab. I pay him back eventually.
Reedy
No, you don't.
yes
You're-
he does. Because I haven't paid it yet doesn't mean I won't.
If you look at his tab right now, there's like $8
Yeah,
that I
like
haven't
11
paid.
bucks. Is that horrible? He's definitely paid for more than that.
Oh my gosh! No, every
I'm just
time he
saying
puts
what
it
I've
in,
heard.
he puts in dollars and cents.
And he's
okay?
reminding you daily. He's on
Oh
your
my
butt.
gosh! Talk about There is no
You know, maybe this can be.
defending
Hey, how about I take this off your tab if you pay for my pizza?
BYOZ.
No.
No defending BYOZ. And
He
that,
pays Ren in the friend group as having the place to
that
host.
is why Zamas is a good idea.
Thank you. It was my idea. Anyways, after Zamas,
the
directly after the
hell
most depressing
happened?
OSU loss, right on
Oh my
freaking New
gosh.
Year's Eve, when some of us were no longer having a good night and already a poor start to
just
2023.
Gaben.
He was-
Shut
it
up.
was- it was bad.
We went over to our favorite place, the best place in Finley,
Canterbury Swim and Tennis Club.
right there on the volleyball net, and we set up a rocket.
Attempted to.
Yes.
We set it up.
We set up
Oh,
a
oh,
rocket.
Successfully.
2 hours
But it's
late
a-
to my
yeah,
party.
see, poor Tony was
No.
a victim of the rocket.
4 hours.
It was a long.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 6 hours.
Yeah, you did some bad.
That
moves there.
rocket was a struggle.
We set it up, and it was already hard enough.
I'm
But-
not gonna take credit for the
Okay,
setup.
we
That
did not
was-
set it up. That was
Reid
Reid
and
and
Owen.
7 hours, whatever.
Reid and Owen, and they set it up, and they
realized
did a
what
good
I
job, and I think they did it correctly. It was still a struggle, but we get out there, and we're having some issues.
You remember what you have to know is the rocket was 10 years old.
It was 10 years old, and
From-
we've been talking for 3 months about setting it up. Maybe
So we were
And
really
it was
excited.
cold air we're working with. Cold, dry air.
windy,
Well, I don't
slightly
know if that
windy.
makes it-
I mean, pretty warm for New Year's Eve, but like it's okay.
At the end of the day, rocket didn't work. Gaben
So I had a better idea. So we get out there, and the issue with the rocket wasn't so much the setup. We tried firing it multiple times. Got like this cool wire, the setup thing. We had to get a new battery that night. They all went out in the middle of the freaking Buckeye game. But anyways, we weren't able to get it to fire, and we think it was an issue with the actual rocket, and that it was just a dud. So in order to make sure it was a dud, they wanted me to try and light it on fire. I'm like, okay, a lighter's not gonna work.
No.
They wanted me to light the
That's
fuse.
not
Let me correct
Gaben.
myself. Let me correct my. They wanted me to light the fuse.
Gaben
And
wanted him to
it
light
was
the
like-
fuse. That
well,
was.
They
There's a
brought it up
fuse
as
on
an
this
idea.
rocket?
They literally went all the way
I
back.
don't know the
They went.
I thought it was a rocket that like you step on it and just.
Nope.
No,
No,
it
it
was
was
like-
big. It was a serious deal.
There was like a. There was a control panel, so you'd get away from it. Mind you,
Control panel meaning one little button. that
it
you
was a
press.
control panel.
Houston,
It
you
was
might.
supposed to be 50 feet around the rocket. No obstacles. We were all like 10
we were
feet
in a
away,
forest.
And there was a
basically.
volleyball net literally like one.
And the
foot away
volleyball
from
net
me.
was right there. So it was everybody's all excited. You're ready to set it off. Oh, and presses the button. That's exactly that exact sound that just happened. The silence. That's what it was like. Everybody's like,
About
what
every
the
time. And we did it multiple times. It didn't work. And so we got to the point where it was like, what if we try lighting the fuse? So somebody went and got a lighter. And so I was like, I'll do it. I don't care. But I had a better idea. So I got a big stick. We had paper. I don't know why they brought paper. I
It
put
wasn't paper. It was the instruction
oh yeah,
manual.
we didn't have paper, but I took the instruction manual, which was very flammable. I tied it around and put it all over the end of the stick. Took me a couple tries because it was windy and cold, but I lit that on fire. I'm about 10 feet away with the stick, and I hold it under the rocket, ready for it to either explode, kill us all, or fire up into the air magnificently and shoot the parachute out. And instead, it just caught on fire, melted, and then fell off the rack.
It was really.
He made a torch to light our rocket.
It was literally a tiki torch.
The whole rocket caught on fire.
The torch was
It
the
burned.
same size
It
as
burned
the
until it fell
rocket.
over, and then it was placed in the trophy tree, and we made our way to Tony's.
It will be in the trophy tree
Placed in the trophy
for the rest of eternity.
I wish Reid was here for that BYOZ because it's always a big thing.
It's
when we
about
have to
time
let
that
out.
God,
aired
that
out.
was
He'll have to see it
no.
later.
That was so funny for someone that like.
I
I
mean,
don't know. I'm not in the friend group, so like this was hilarious to
it's
hear.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
There is no more controversial topic than when Reid starts saying people don't pay for their Zaw.
anyways, bring your own saw. It's like, which is basically what Zamas is, but it's just incredible that he's gonna say
He
that.
comes talk about like Swishy didn't pay Zal money. Zach
was
didn't
over
pay
here.
Zal money.
So she did pay Zah money.
Swishy broke his ankle. How are you gonna make him pay
Yeah.
for Za?
Zach's a D1 athlete.
Come on, guys. Like, what are we doing with Za? Okay. Anyways, I've been avoiding this because Eva's in the room, but
It's time to bring it up.
Yeah.
I've
Josh
Expose
Baker,
yourself.
the king of
Expose
Finley High
yourself.
School, got a detention.
I've
Shame.
been issued a detention,
It's shameful.
and it's really free me till it's backwards if you think about it. Like,
Free my man, Josh.
big
Baker.
fan of the show. Caden
my
Brownowell
man, Josh
shouts
Baker.
out for saying
Shout out to
free
Katie
me.
Brownell.
Free my boy. Thank
Shout out
you,
to
Kaden.
everybody, by the
my boy
way.
Josh Baker.
We love you.
It was. So
That's a controversial subject.
what happened was, I got into a verbal altercation
Physical.
with one Mrs. Toland, the teacher.
You get.
I knew it. I knew it.
My
I knew
first
it.
period
I-
anatomy teacher has been on me all year about being late. I run behind. I'm not like Gaben, but I do.
No,
I,
I'm late to first period every single day.
I-
my record for this semester right now is only 5 minutes late.
I have But that's the thing, though. I'm not like.
No,
10 minutes late.
That's my record, like, earliest to school.
I'm not 10 minutes late. I'm getting there. The bell rings and I'm getting my stuff out of my locker. Like, she makes eye contact with me, then closes the door sometimes. I'm like, come on, Mrs. Tolan.
Down and into your soul.
You know we have a better relationship than that, so why are you doing that?
To me.
You get 3.
To the king.
It's 3. Exactly.
Put it on. Put it on, Josh. Thank you.
You get 3 tardies, then it's a detention. So I got first week of the semester, or first week of the quarter, I got 2. I mean, was it my fault? Yes. It puts me on thin ice for the rest of the quarter. I can't be late anymore. Like, first quarter, I only had 1 late, so I used my 2 lates on the last 2 days of the quarter. I was late 15 minutes both days.
What about poor Bubble?
She was at school. I was just doing laps, okay?
Oh, okay.
Doing
Sorry,
laps.
people.
But so I had my 2. Everything's okay. We're going. It's the last class before Christmas break, and we finished like learning about the knee and everything. And she's like, listen off her expectations for the rest of the year. She's like, you can't be getting stuff from your locker. You got to be on time. Blah blah blah. They're all like reasonable things. It's like most teachers
But you can't
don't
be getting
enforce
stuff from
it.
your locker. Like,
Well, I mean, like
sometimes you forget
you
something.
can't just bring your pencil case into the classroom. Like it's like all reasonable stuff, but no other teacher enforces it, so it seems crazy.
It is crazy.
And so she's like, with that being said, the late thing, I believe a few people have gotten their 3 tardies, and they're going to be needing to get their detention here scheduled. She goes, Savannah, Brandon, I'm name dropping. Savannah, Brandon, Deontay,
Deontay.
Josh?
Josh who? Wait, Josh who?
2. Baker. She just said Josh, though. I only have 2 lates. And I'm sitting next to Cora, and everybody starts to giggle because Josh is at detention because it's like, Josh is late every day. No, I'm not. I get there as the bell rings. I'm in the classroom. But I'm like, maybe there was one day where I was going to be late, and in the most heroic move of the century, Nate Regal, she's closing the door, goes, grabs it so it doesn't shut. I don't have to fill out a tardy slip.
He's about the best dude I've ever.
I mean, I've never talked to Nate Regal about that ever, but it was the greatest thing that anyone's ever done for me.
And he has
Wait, what
many
happened?
heroic moments.
He
as
held
it
the door open.
Like,
So
she
when
shut it,
She
and it's
closes the
sliding
door,
shut,
and when it's
and
closed,
as
you
he
have to
walks
fill out
by,
a tardy
he's just-
ticket,
Boom.
and that's a late.
Okay, even if you're technically late, but the door was still open, okay.
She goes off tardy tickets.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha. Understood.
so that I'm like, okay, maybe she does count it like that. I get there today. She gives me my thing, the dates. First week of the quarter, December the 7th. I'm like, oh,
Wait
I
a
wonder what day
minute.
December the 7th was.
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. What do I do on Wednesdays?
The announcement.
I do the announcements on Wednesdays.
Good morning, Finley.
How am I going to be on time to class when I'm doing the announcements? But kindly remember, there was a week or 2 there where they were broken.
Oh.
So I did them, but she didn't hear them, so she just assumed I was just late.
Wait, I didn't. Oh.
Well, Josh, that sounds like a very likely and convenient excuse.
No, it's true. It was Wednesday. So long story short, I got in the room and I told her the business. Not really. I said, when will my detention be, Mrs. Tolan?
He took it like
And
a...
I took it on the chin. I didn't get into a verbal altercation. I've just been telling people that.
So when is it?
You stuck it to the
Friday, although I planned to fight it because
Fight the system.
I wasn't late, and I think she'll be reasonable about it. But at the same time, it's like,
She's not the reasonable.
but she like actually is though. Like maybe because
degree.
she's strict, it's like a bad reputation. But she like really is not that unreasonable.
No,
It's
like,
just,
Mr. Moyer is strict but reasonable. Mrs. Tolan, seems like she deserves her rep.
You gotta stay in
She's
line.
a taskmaster. I've never had a class with her, to be fair.
Yeah,
so if
here
she
I-
sees this, I'm not.
I'm learning my anatomy though.
I don't know. I feel like.
What's this?
I don't know. If she sees you walk.
That would be a false floating rib.
Okay. I believe you.
Or a floating rib. I couldn't tell which number of rib it was.
Dude, a floating rib is also a false rib. It's not one.
No, because I'm talking about the specific ones that are false floating.
Boom.
No, never mind.
There are specific ones that are false floating.
No,
I
it
don't-
could either
I don't
be
know what's
false
happening.
or floating false. It's not floating or floating false.
You just said the same thing twice.
Yeah, I
No,
I
I didn't.
actually
No, I
said
didn't.
that.
No, I
Say it
didn't.
again.
It either could be false or floating false, not floating or floating false. Thank you.
But that's not what you
That's
said,
all.
though. We're gonna run
That
back
is-
the tape and
I
you're gonna say
mean, okay,
false, floating,
sure,
false, false,
Eva.
floating, false, and then you said false, floating,
I
false,
don't
floating,
think I
false,
said that,
false.
but maybe I
God,
did.
save.
It
False,
really
false,
floating
5 times
false.
false.
Yeah.
It's a
Say
rib,
that
Tony.
one
You were
time
pointing to one of your ribs, and
Thank
that's
you.
that's or fun trick, everybody. Left hand right under the rib cage. What are you feeling right there?
False floating ribs.
Your liver.
Not my pancreas. My pancreas is over here.
Why is mine?
So I'm not that far. into
Where's
anatomy.
my dead pancreas at?
I don't.
You brought this up. Hey, can you point to your pancreas, please? Got him. He doesn't have one.
Gaben, man. I mean, what in the world?
Do you know where your pancreas is?
No. But I have one.
At the end of the day, I think
I have one. It's just dead.
You made eye contact.
He stared right at the camera.
Brown, brown, brown.
I think I'm just gonna. I might not even argue it because it's like, then like I've never gotten more story
Is it the next
responses in
time?
my life.
Yeah, you kind of like it.
But then I mean, it's just so funny because I've been walking through the hallway all day. Like,
No, but you know what? How much
Shut
better
with
it's
me.
gonna be?
Which you don't know what I did. So what do you, for
No,
all
you know what's even
I was
better,
gonna say,
Josh?
Like you marked it out.
Yeah, they're
so-
definitely not gonna check this podcast. But
Probably not, but we'll
That would
see.
be a good resource. They'd
here's
watch
what you
it.
do. If you really gotta post another one, a big fanfare about how you've been freed and how you cleared the charges and how you
I
how
beat
you
the
broke free.
case.
You beat the case, and then if it happens again, you have something to be like part 2. They want me still.
Well,
They're coming
mind
after me. There's
you,
prejudice.
In the third quarter, we will be in the same exact position
That's what I'm
because I
saying.
will be using all of my tardies. And in the fourth quarter, I'll be using all my tardies.
You get 3.
The thing is about it is that like you have the evidence. December 7th is a Wednesday.
Yeah.
You did the announcements on
Yeah.
Wednesdays. Which I'm so sad.
I'll represent you.
because I don't come into school on first period.
Or just because I'm late. I think I've heard Josh's announcements once or twice this year, like I said, and they're the first 5 minutes of
And
every
I
day.
can't hear the bus changes
Wednesday.
because I'm in Millstream.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Do you ride the
Personal
bus?
finance.
The bus change, they let me do bus changes one time.
What?
That was
When?
Yeah. It was like,
He rules the school.
I forget when it was.
I don't know, I
but
think
it
it
was
was-
a big deal. It was a big deal.
it was one of the days we were setting up in here because you came in and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Josh, you did the bus changes."
Yeah.
'Cause ain't that that's a big deal.
It's a
I
big
think we
deal.
got
It's a
knocked
big
off.
step forward in your career.
Is someone here to like watch with us?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
We're locked in.
We may have to. You can like crack the door open and see what's out there because someone just walked
Oh,
past.
it's 3:30.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Brum, brum, brum.
You can open the door. Alright, cool.
In other
Look at that, called
words, time to start wrapping things up. Pretty good
Yes.
day today. Hey, prayers up for DeMar Hamlin. I was
Yes.
going to say earlier, it was pretty cool how both teams reacted. Joe Burrow got the captains of the Bengals to head over there and talk to them while they were all in the locker rooms. I think while everybody was finding a lot to complain about, they handled it probably as best as they could really see fit because they didn't have much of a precedent to go off of. But either way, just worry less about outrage and worry less about the man and the kid's life and football in general. So prayers up for
Only
Hamlin.
24 years old is really scary to have that big of a
Yeah.
of scare. Is like.
Prayers to him, prayers to his family, and I'm sure he'll pull through. And prayers
also,
for
it was-
anybody
it
facing the
was-
Cavs with Donovan Mitchell.
It was kind of nice how the teams like. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but they all like kind of had it surrounded so no camera could see what was happening. Because I mean, they were
came
giving the dude
together,
CPR. It's nice to keep that private instead of all the
Having it
fans
out,
there
yeah.
and cameras like pointing on that specific moment. But
All right.
if you have any money and you want to give it to the
Donation.
DeMar Hamlin
Let's see. What's
Toys
the
for
name?
Tots charity, it's at
Is it
$3
Toys for
million.
Tots?
I think so. I think that's what.
Let's see if we can look it up real quick.
It's something like for kids.
Yeah, it's definitely toys. DeMar.
But I can link it in the description of this video if you guys want to
yeah,
go.
let's see if I can
Good
pull
choice.
up
Shout
the
out to them,
title.
yeah.
DeMar charity.
But if you guys could just think about DeMar Hamlin, it's a very serious time in sports history. And I think it'll
Chasing
be the-
M Foundation fundraiser. So
Chasing M's.
check out Chasing M, and continue praying.
Yeah.
for
But
doing
sorry, this episode of podcast was a little morbid. What do you have to say, Josh?
I'm just ready to say farewell from podcast. That's all I'm here for. So you
Podcast?
do your whole conclusion. It was a slow start, I would say.
Well,
Yeah.
we got one, and this is why we have subs.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice.
Cold with this, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, very serious episode. But
Okay.
thank you for tuning in to podcast.
Podcast.
Hope you had a happy New Year,
Yeah, I hope
next
had a
time.
happy New Year. I hope you guys all have a great start to 2023.
and have a good week.
All right.
And we're out on that one.
See y'all later.
You let camera woman do what now?
Eva, stop my thing.
Thank you.
Just leave this all in.